Welcome, everybody. It's a great pleasure to have you here today. This is the second time we're doing the pledge. Last year was our first time and awards. So every opportunity that we have to get together, we embrace it with an open heart and arms, because it's an opportunity for us to recognize student performance and recognize the hard effort that you guys have put in. I'd just like to remind you guys, if you could switch off your cell phones so we don't have those going off during the meeting, the ceremony. The agenda, I was going to say the agenda, but it's not really. It's the course of the events for today. We're going to look at some awards. We have a speaker with us, Lorica Smith, and she's going to share some of her insights. And after the awards, we're going to have, which I'm very excited for, the first years to do their pledge. And it's a meaningful experience. It's something that we've taken time to prepare and look at the wording and the definitions and really get into those. So that's going to be exciting. So without further ado, I would like to call on our wonderful HOD, Mrs. Tilly, if she could come and welcome you. Please put your hands together for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Goeiemiddag, almal. Molweni, wonke umntu. I would like to welcome each and everyone who is here to celebrate with us, Medical Laboratory Science Department, on this day. It's one of those special days. It is the second time we're having it, and it is such a proud moment. And it's not only a pledge or a day or oath day, but also a reward day, where the students that have worked so hard will be able to reap the fruits. And I would like to thank personally the special guests that we have. We've got the director of the school, Prof. Shuta. We've got the acting director of research, Prof. Melareri. We've got the virtual guests. I want to start with them because I always forget. The parents, the friends, whoever is watching online. There is also our keynote speaker, Lorica Smith. And also we have laboratory people or colleagues that have joined us. Carol Massain from Pathcare, Velna Hills, and I'm looking for somebody from NHLS. Not here. Okay. And also, I do not want to forget the special guests, the reason we are here, the reason for today. We wouldn't have today if they were not here. Medical Laboratory Science students, welcome. I would like to say, I struggle to find the proper English for what I want to say, but I will do a direct translation and then I will explain. Normally in isiXhosa I would say, you are at home, wamkele ekhaya khulula ibhatyi, wonwabe. We normally say enjoy, take off your jacket and relax. We're going to have fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Tilly. I think that's key. I think we need to have fun and just relax. The next speaker is a guest speaker, is Ms. Lorica Smith. She's a senior medical technologist at NHLS Doringins and currently head of the chemistry department. Just a little background, she's 16 years experience in medical lab diagnostics. You hold a master's degree in medical technology and you're board certified in clinical pathology. In addition, she has a keen interest in molecular biology and hematology. Her passion for quality and training is evident in her involvement with SANAS as a technical assessor, and she remains in close contact with her alma mater, NMU, as part-time lecturer moderator of various modules. I've got to know as well, she's a fantastic human being. Please put your hands together for Ms. Lorica Smith.
Okay, dear students, colleagues, and fellow medical laboratory professionals, it is such a privilege for me to stand here today and share a little bit of my journey, perhaps share some lab hacks, and hopefully get you inspired and fired up for your career as a medical laboratory scientist. Okay, don't you love and hate it when people ask you, so what do you do? What is your occupation? What do you do for a living? Whether you're a first-year student or you have 20 years of experience, it's a difficult question to answer. In any case, that's my experience. This meme aptly states, let's just assume you won't understand what I do. Especially if you're talking to anybody outside of the profession, let's just assume you won't get you don't understand what I do. And I actually love that. I secretly enjoy that our profession is so superior and specialized that it cannot be easily understood or explained. But I also hate that question. What do you do? Because I'm yet to find a one-line description which fully encompasses the magnitude and importance of what it actually means to be a medical laboratory scientist. Medical laboratory science truly is, in my humble opinion, the backbone of the healthcare sector. When I tell people that I work in a medical laboratory, they say, oh, so you're Dracula, you draw blood. No, just no, that's okay. I aid in the diagnosis and treatment of disease by processing medical specimens. I usually spell it out, blood, urine, tissue, etc. But even that doesn't quite do it justice because it's just so much more. It's wild being a laboratory scientist. Whether you find yourself in a pristine, private, state-of-the-art laboratory, or whether you're stationed in a mobile unit on the outskirts of a rural village, it is wild. The responsibility that rests on your shoulders is enormous. It is sometimes downright terrifying. The responsibility of sending out the correct result is no small feat. What we do and how we do it has life-altering consequences. The difference between positive and negative could mean the difference between a patient receiving life-saving treatment or being sent home without treatment, resulting in their possible demise. The rate at which you are able to release a result directly influences the rate at which a doctor is able to initiate appropriate treatment. The accuracy with which you match up the correct result with the correct patient will dictate whether the correct patient receives the correct the correct treatment. And even after all of these years working in a clinical setting, I still find that terrifying. By far, the scariest thing I ever did was to assist with a bone marrow biopsy on a baby. Bone marrow biopsy is one of those procedures that I feel still belongs in the dark ages. You know, that crunching through tissue and bone, it's horrifying. It's the thing that nightmares are made of. It was a very traumatizing experience, not only for me, but also for the tiny little baby and the mom who was present in the procedure room. On patients younger than 2 years, bone marrow biopsies are often done on the tibia. And the thing about bone marrow is it clots almost instantly as soon as it's aspirated. So you literally only have a couple of seconds to make as many good quality slides as possible before the bone marrow is clotted. In those couple of seconds, all eyes are on you. The doctor waits for confirmation that you were able to get enough slides to do all the necessary tests. That is insane pressure. I was once working in a private laboratory and the analyzer on which we processed troponin I had a breakdown. Within seconds, I had the laboratory manager breathing down my neck because the turnaround time for urgent troponin is 45 minutes. It takes the analyzer at least 15 minutes to restart or to start up. Quality control is compulsory after maintenance or any repair process, so that's another 20 minutes to run QCs before any specimens can be run. The actual processing time for a patient is another 20 minutes, so we're outside of that already. It's mission impossible. It's impossible. But the doctor is not concerned about analyzer malfunction. He is concerned with the troponin result being available within 45 minutes. It's wildly terrifying, okay? You will be faced with many such impossible situations on a daily basis, but fear not. The day that you walk out of here to start your career as a medical laboratory scientist, you can stand firm with your head held high and with confidence because you will be equipped with the exact skills and knowledge that you need to make important decisions and perform these seemingly impossible tasks. All of your modules, yes, even physics, calcs and stats, immunology, all of those terrible headachy kind of modules, there's a reason that they are included in this course content. You'll get those light bulb moments. For example, when you have to prepare a 5% working solution from a 20% stock solution, how much of the stock solution should I use? And then suddenly the C1V1 equals C2V2 equation will pop into your head. It's such a simple equation, but hands down the equation that is used most and is most useful in the laboratory, in any discipline. You will have that knowledge because Mrs. Teeley would have drilled that into your brain in a chemistry lecture at some point. Mrs. Buckle was my first year anatomy and physiology lecturer. Whenever I process a pediatric specimen, even today still, I hear Mrs. Buckle's voice in my head saying, when it comes to geriatrics and pediatrics, do better. Check twice, make sure, because those patients, number one, can't speak for themselves oftentimes, and number two, they react differently. They react differently to, they have different reference ranges, they react differently to medication. So when it comes to pediatrics and geriatrics, do better, said Mrs. Buckle. I don't know if she still says that today, but that has stuck with me all these years. Prof. Smith was my biochemistry lecturer and promoter during my MTech studies, and she instilled in me a passion for research, and she is still someone I highly revere and hold in very high regard. I once read a book, Women Who Run with Wolves. It is a collection of short stories. In one of these stories, an older woman encourages one of the younger ones in the community by reminding her that she is able to push through. She is able to stand firm because she stands on the shoulders of the woman who came before her. And that to me is such a striking metaphor. And I actually found a quote from Isaac Newton, which I didn't know existed, which says, I have seen further than others. If I have seen further than others, it is because I'm standing upon the shoulders of giants. We are standing on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. You can go out there with confidence. Stand firm, stand strong, stand with your head held high, because you are standing on the shoulders of the giants that came before you. Here be giants. Here are the giants, your lecturers and every staff member in the department. I won't name them all in fear of leaving someone out. You are standing on the shoulders of these giants. That is a solid foundation. You will forever have them in your corner cheering you on. Your success is their success. Every professional accomplishment is a testimony of their dedication and input. There are even giants you are not aware of. Scientists, educators, committees, and boards that are continuously advocating for our profession. And that's one of the reasons why medical laboratory science is now a degree course and no longer a diploma. We upgrade it because of the giants that came before us. Okay, so let me tell you one of the reasons why I love my profession. The qualification is so diverse. The number of career paths you could follow are endless. I started my career as a brewing scientist at SAB, South African Breweries. That was my very first job. I had just completed my master's degree in medical technology when SAB contacted me, so I was for real, legit brewing beer, okay? Not medical science, I was nurturing yeast and testing alcohol concentrations. After that, I worked as a QC microbiologist at River Bioscience, where they produce biopesticide for use on citrus and other fruits. I was picking up small larvae and placing them in oranges that were treated with varying concentrations of a solution containing baculovirus, and then doing virus enumeration and contamination control of the final product. Not medical science, worms, moths, and oranges. Next, I started my internship at the NHLS in clinical pathology. I wish that's what my lab looks like, but from there, I moved to molecular virology with Mrs. van Reyner, and back again to clinical pathology, where I am currently. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg in terms of examples of job opportunities that are available for medical laboratory scientists. I can't even say that the sky is the limit, because it is not. If sometime in the future mankind colonizes on the moon or on Mars, you can be sure there will be a need for a medical laboratory scientist up there. So the sky is not even the limit. Don't you love that? You have to love that. Even after many years in this profession, I'm still excited by the possibilities that this qualification provides. Now for some life hacks, or let's call them lab hacks. Most importantly, guard your professional integrity at all times. Today, you pledge to abide by the values and ethical guidelines set out by the profession of medical laboratory science and the Health Professions Council of South Africa. I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but along with your knowledge and skills, your professional integrity is your most valuable asset. If your professional integrity is compromised in any way, it will have far-reaching detrimental effects on your career. Don't be tempted to take shortcuts. Don't be tempted to go with the flow. Guard your professional integrity at all costs. Your career will be what you make of it. If you're going to do the bare minimum in the laboratory, you cannot expect to grow or advance or be eligible for a promotion. Volunteer to do the things that other people don't want to do. For example, existing in those bone marrow biopsies. That's something that people normally shy away from. If there's a bone marrow biopsy to be done, you're like, I can't, I'm going to tea or lunch or whatever. But volunteer to do that. By going to the ward, you meet the clinician, you extend your professional network. Next thing, you might be working on a collaborative study in some groundbreaking innovation. It's possible. In chemistry, volunteer to do a verification. Calculate MP factors for enzymes, or update target values for the new lot numbers of QCs. Those are all tasks people don't want to do. But it will only make you more competent, confident, and knowledgeable than your peers. It sets you apart. Your career will be what you make of it. And then finally, position yourself for success. I once had to prepare a short presentation for the Train the Trainer course. We could choose any random topic. It did not have to be medical or scientific. The goal was just to evaluate your presentation skills. So one person chose the topic, you can just, yeah. So one person chose the topic, how to use a toilet, for real, okay? You could choose any topic. The whole goal of it was just to see how you present, where you can improve on. The next person presented on how to arrange your socks, okay? So I presented, on the next slide, on EDTA-induced pseudothrombocytopenia, because what can I say? I take things seriously, okay? I'm serious like that, okay? A week later, I received a telephone call out of the blue from SANAS. This is the organization that audits medical laboratories. They said, we were informed that you are an expert in hematology, and we would like to invite you to attend a training course for ISO 15189 and ISO 17025 to become a technical assessor. Will you believe me if I tell you that this was only 2 years after I had passed my board exam? So by any technical definition, I was not an expert at all, okay? But there was someone who saw my presentation, who was a SANAS assessor. She was impressed with my work and put my name forward. So you might say, oh, well, that's just luck, that's your good luck. But in fact, I positioned myself for success. I could have presented on any topic, how to paint a sunrise or how to make a breakfast burrito, but I deliberately chose to position myself for success. So it just goes to show you'd never know who's listening or who is taking note. So make use of every possible opportunity to position yourself for success. So that is the end of my story. Dear students, colleagues, fellow medical laboratory scientists, in closing, I encourage you to stand tall because you're standing on the shoulders of the giants that came before you, and I will leave you with this mind-bending question. What do you do? Thank you.
Please don't run off. Before you go, I just wanted to say thank you so much for, I think we can all agree, just really informative, but it's also heartwarming, and to hear how you touch on, the elements of medical laboratory sciences that appeals to student cohort. And I think it was just an incredibly encouraging message that you gave, and we'd just like to give you this. Are you going to give me a hug? I've been told we're going to have load shedding at 2, guys, so be aware that this venue has got a backup, but we're going to be in darkness for a few seconds. I can imagine it's going to be pitch black. I'm in the department. I'm a lecturer. I do the histopathology course. I do a bit of research. I see my students smiling. I try to get the second year. Yes. I try to get the second years to come. They needed to be, but they have blamed me for the submission of a assignment. I see my colleagues are doing the same. And then I told them that they have to come because there's a meal, and of course there isn't a meal, so that was on me too. So, we come to part of the ceremony that's the most exciting for us, and that's the awards. And what can you say? But I've been told don't waffle, so I'm not going to waffle. I always just imagine, this is what I see for you guys, as I see students that, and I said it last year as well, it's like, you sit down and you commit to doing the best that you can in terms of mastering the material. That's what you do. And, if we don't have these award ceremonies, we don't get an opportunity to recognize that. I was a student in the same department, by the way. I know, it's like furniture. I am that. I am the furniture. And these beautiful people in the front here, they lectured me. And so I resonate with what you were saying. We stand on the shoulder of giants. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these Professor Smiths. And so what I'm saying is that it is important to know that we know that this isn't easy to consistently apply yourself and to achieve. But it's not an easy road, and I recognize it. We recognize it. So these awards come from a place of joy and excitement, and hopefully motivate other students to want to do the same going forward and apply yourselves. It's great. It truly is. It's remarkable. So we're going to start with first years, and I'm going to ask my favorite. I shouldn't have favorites. I don't have favorites. Mrs. Baileyfeld, she's a laboratory technician and so much more in the department. If you'll come up, please, and help assist. Let's put our hands together. Thank you. Let's start over there. So we're going to start with third place. I was hoping it'd be on the screen as well. So this is 2022, and this gentleman has applied himself and done exceptionally well, and I've got to know him as well. He's fantastic. Jonathan Kuhn with 84. Second place is Nicole Emmerich. Nicole, come down here and get your prize. You want them in the front? Yeah, sure. Jonathan. We want a photo. And then first in first year, 2022, yes, stand up and come down. Stephanie Miller. Well done. Okay, guys, let's put our hands together for these 3 students. Thank you, Mrs. Baileyfeld. Appreciate it. Second years, let's have a look at these award winners. I'd like to ask Mrs. Tilly if she would come up, please, and just assist me. And then if we could start with third place. You know who you are? Yes. the cold. It's getting to all of us. We can barely move. It's like second place is fantastic student Tegan Miller. Got to stop using the word fantastic. Kaylin, first place to Kaylin Fiver. All together. Thank you, guys. Well done. Beautiful work. Thank you. We got our photos. Fantastic. Thank you. Mrs. Ondi, I feel like we're moving at a nice pace. This is... we're doing good, right? Okay. Mrs. Ondi. Nice of you samen met die. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. Jadelle, third place. Third year, second place. Miss McCracken Samuel. Well done. Hello, McCracken. Kayla Osmond, first place. Wow. 84%. Well done. Let's put our hands together for the four of them, the three of them. Well done. The microscope, yeah. Thank you, guys. The bag. It's the end of the week. It's been a long week, guys. You're already thinking of Saturday, right? Well done. Thank you, Mrs. Andrew. Right, so let's shift gears. We're moving into the pledge. And I would like to ask a very special friend who I've known for a long time. Keep looking the same word. I have known for a very long time, Professor Smith, if you don't mind coming up just to share with us. Am I in fourth years? I've missed the fourth years. Okay, I'm so sorry. We could do it. That would be Mrs. Van Reyne. Would you join me, please? Yeah. Third position, Marga Louise. Well done, Marga. She's a star. Then, second position goes to Lawrence Hansen. He's not here, he's in the UK, so we'd just like to ask Sine if she'd come forward and collect that on his behalf. Thank you, Sine. Thanks, guys. Sine. You are first place. Right, thank you. Let's put our hands together for them. For Sine. Both of them, come up. When you're an outstanding student, you get many awards. Sine and Margot, please come up. We have a special award this year for the top discipline, and there are two disciplines. The first is cytogenetics, and this goes to Margot Louise. Thank you. To give the award, I'd like to welcome Carol Missane. You are from Pathcare, and you're very welcome here. And before we give that award, I'd just like to ask Sine if she will come on for the Clinical Pathology Award. That would be the right order. Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Tilly. I forgot to ask you to come up. Let's put our hands together for Sine, please. Thank you. I wonder if Mrs. Missane would like to talk about your award. Thank you. Do you want to share something? Right, so Mrs. Missane, this is an award for outstanding result in final examination in cytogenetics. So well done to you, Margot. That's brilliant. And then we've got a very unique award this year. It's for a student who's really faced challenges, and we just want to recognize that an overall challenging circumstances, and that goes in absentia to Zona Madibi. So if we could just put our hands together for her, she's really overcome enormous challenges. Thank you. Then Smeltzer, which is represented here by Mrs. Missane, she's been there for past president for 20 odd years. I'd like to pass on this award for the top discipline in cytogenetics. And this was the first time we did cytogenetics last year, and I worked with you, which was phenomenal. We did a great job with those two students, and it brings me great pleasure to award this to Margot Louise for top discipline. Well done. And then, in absentia, again, for Lawrence Hansen, NHLS, I'm not sure if you're representative here, I think there is, but we'd like to also present him. He did exceptionally well in his fourth year, and he gets for outstanding results in ClinPath. So well done to Lawrence Hansen. If you guys don't mind just putting your hands together. Thank you. Then I'd like to ask, I think you've given all your awards, Carol. So if you, yeah, thank you. If you guys can, we have an award from AMPATH. So Sine, if you could stay on the stage, please, and I'd like to ask Bill Niels to come up, please. Thank you. Vilna Hills is a trainer at AMPATH Laboratories for many years. Lovely to have you here, Vilna. Thank you. This award goes to Sine for outstanding results in the final examination. No, for outstanding results. Yes, final examination. Well done. That's lovely. Let's stand for a photograph. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Hans. So I'd like to welcome, thank you, guys. I'd like to welcome Professor Smith to chat to us about the pledge. If you guys could put your hands together, that would be wonderful.
Good afternoon. Just to quickly comment on Lorica, I hope that's not the end of your story and that you will enroll in your PhD soon. I haven't got that many years before I retire because I'm more of a furniture chair, whatever, than Dr. Wickens. I've been here for ages. Okay, so this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and most importantly, our student medical laboratory sciences students. Today, I want to emphasize the significance of this oath that you will be taking as a student. And as Lorica explained earlier on, your field plays a vital role in healthcare, and often you're working behind the scenes to provide accurate and reliable diagnostic information. As future professionals in this field, you have to understand the immense responsibility that lies upon your shoulders. When you take the oath this afternoon, you are making a commitment to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and ethical conduct. The oath signifies your dedication to the well-being of your patients and your unwavering commitment to pursue the knowledge and excellence in practice. Okay, so first and foremost, the oath reminds you of the critical role you play in patient care. Your work directly impacts patient diagnosis, the treatment plans, and overall health care outcomes of the patient. You are entrusted with the responsibility of performing laboratory tests, analyzing specimens, and providing accurate, and as Lorica said, we try to timelessly provide the results to assist in the diagnosis and monitoring of diseases. Lives may very well depend on your expertise and specifically attention to detail. Secondly, the oath underscores the importance of integrity in the profession. As a medical laboratory science student, you will have to conduct yourself with honesty, transparency, and commitment to ethical principles. You will have to handle very sensitive patient information, and you will have to always maintain confidentiality and protect the patient's privacy. By adhering to high ethical standards, you will earn the trust and respect of your patients, but not only patients, your colleagues and the entire healthcare community. Additionally, the oath calls upon you to be lifelong learners and advocates for professional growth, exactly what Lorica was saying earlier on. The field of medical laboratory science is dynamic, very, very much so, and ever evolving with new technologies, methodologies, and discoveries constantly emerging. embrace the spirit of continuous learning and professional development to stay abreast of all these advances. And it's such a fast evolving field that if I say to you that a few years ago we didn't have the mapping of the whole human genome. Now you have all that knowledge, and we do understand that you now have to learn more than I, for example, had to, because in my day, that knowledge wasn't there. Okay, lastly, the oath emphasizes the significance of compassion and empathy. In your role, as medical laboratory science professionals, you may not always have direct patient contact, but you should never forget the human element of your work. Behind every sample you will analyze, there is a person seeking answers, comfort, and hope. By approaching your work with compassion and empathy, you contribute to the healing process and ensures that patients receive the care they deserve. In conclusion, the oath taken by you this afternoon serves as a reminder of the immense responsibility, but not only responsibility, also the privilege you have to be in this noble profession. It calls upon you to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and ethical conduct. As you embark on this journey, carry the values embedded in this oath throughout your careers and make a positive difference in the lives of the patients you serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Smith. I would like to invite the first years onto the stage. And we're going to do this in two groups, so it's just going to be one group and then the second one. And if the first group could come up, that would be great, and we can do the pledge from there. We'll be doing it in English. So I'm going to start you off, and then you guys can continue. How does that sound? Great. Okay. In the presence of family, friends,
I take this pledge as a medical laboratory science student within the health science faculty at Nelson Mandela University. I hereby pledge to uphold the university and faculty's values as I embark on developing into a professional in service of society. In my pursuit to become an excellent medical laboratory scientist, I will be committed to sound professional and ethical conduct as a medical laboratory scientist registered with the Professional Board of Medical Technology. I promise to uphold the values embraced by Nelson Mandela University as is practiced within the faculty: integrity, excellence, Ubuntu, diversity, social justice and equality, and environmental stewardship to reach my professional objectives. As a medical laboratory scientist student, I will uphold the rules of conduct pertaining to the profession of medical laboratory science as outlined by the Professional Board of Medical Technology under the auspices of the Health Professionals Council of South Africa. I will aim to understand and respect my academic and personal responsibilities, my freedom of expression, and my duty to serve others and the shared environment. I will strive to be reflective, using every opportunity presented to develop my profession and strive towards maintaining a human-centered approach. I will respect those who teach and mentor me, as well as those who guide my practical skill development. I will continuously embark on learning with gratitude and humility. In this, I will not be swayed by greed, prejudice, or selfish ego in the practice of my profession. I will continue to pursue excellence and share knowledge. I will act with enduring respect for the dignity of human life. I will revere the confidentiality of patients and related information at my disposal. Finally, I will do all in my ability to assist patients to reach optimal physical and mental health, and I will strive for this balance in my own life. May I always have the courage and character to revere these principles from this day forward, as I place myself into the service of humankind. This pledge I make solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Thank you. You did it. Well done. Done and dusted. Lovely read. Well done. Let me start you off. In the presence of family, friends, well done. Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
I have the honor and the privilege to hand over the badges to our current third-year students that will be entering their Clinical Practice 3 training in the second semester. It is the first time that we will be awarding the badges formally. So therefore, I would like to, I request that you allow me to say a few words. And I feel I have the privileged position, I'm positioned in a privileged time after the previous speakers that spoke so eloquently, and I echo, and I will most likely echo some of the sentiments. I do echo everything that was said previously. So the name badge, if you look at the name badge that will be awarded some of the students that are currently in the laboratory as fourth-year students, maybe you can also reflect on the following. Now, a name badge may seem as a small and insignificant accessory. However, it is a very significant and vital piece of accessory that will allow you to be identified. It will also serve as a physical, tangible reminder of the professional journey that you have walked as a student, medical laboratory science student in this department at Nelson Mandela University. You are encouraged when you put the badge on during your training to let this badge be a physical, tangible reminder of the values of the institution and to uphold the pledge that you have completed, the personalized medical laboratory science pledge that you have completed. And I would like to just highlight a few of them and echo some of the previous speakers' sentiments. They include professional conduct and ethical conduct, respect for yourself, and respect for others. Keeping in mind that behind every specimen that you will handle in the laboratory, there is a person behind it. Then lastly, excellence, diversity, and all these values that are inscribed in the institution's values are embedded in the MLS pledge. Last but certainly not least, and which I have spoken to the current third years, it's to always strive to be a lifelong learner. Continuously striving to improve yourself, and something that really stuck with me with what Ms. Smith has mentioned earlier, Lorica Smith. We studied together, she's very fond of her, is to position yourself. And I think it just ties in so aptly with what we spoke about earlier during our practical session. I will be calling up, and thank you, that is it from my side. So, yes, every day, every morning when you put your lab coat on, and the moment you see or feel that badge, let that be a physical, a tangible reminder of the professional journey that you have walked. I am very proud to be the coordinator for the third year, and I will be keeping a close eye on your professional growth from now on going forward. Third year and fourth year and beyond, of course. I will be calling up the names as follow alphabetically. So you will come, and then I'm sure Mrs. Bowers have instructed you on what to do afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sandi. Right. You're welcome. Sitimbiso Henry Barney. Kelly Lee Claassen. Sibosiso Dry. Jethro Fiberger. Kaylin Fivers. Come, Jessica. Jessica Furry. And you're all going to gather on the stage here to my left, please. Nubachle Gadin. Am I getting it right? Gadeni. I must slow down. I also want a badge. Tandubara. Azile Gila. Zenande Hange. Lizan Himan. Wandile Jaiya. Nokwazi Mkalipi. Lebochang Mpiti. Tegan Muller. They're so slow, Mrs. Ondi. Eletu. Have I missed someone? It's possible. Zuliswa Mtrichani. Eletu Ngegama. Ntikelo Ngobeni. Samkelo Ngobesi. Congrats. Libanati Ngwane. Sinalo Nkai. Where were you earlier? Ezra Rockman. Ezra Rockman. Well done. Kayla Smith. Kayla Fintalk.
I think that's it. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, students. And yes, may that badge continue to serve as a physical daily reminder of the values that you promised and pledged to uphold.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thanks,
Sandi. That's
Dr.
beautifully
Williams.
said.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. And another hand clap. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed guests and beautiful people, it brings me great pleasure to bring this following wonderful person up, and that's Mrs. Tilly. I think we've reached the end of our ceremony and awards ceremony, and I would love if you'd come up and just close this gathering. And I think we should give her a round of applause while you guys put your badges on.
Just before I say my thank yous, I would like to echo my take-home message that I've taken that is inside this bag. That's why I'm not leaving it behind. I've taken it from the keynote speaker, and I always like to take something home. The first one is The sky is not the limit. This one, we were always taught as children that the sky is the limit. When your parents or your teachers encourage you, they always say the sky is the limit. But today I had a different one. The sky is not a limit. The second one is you are standing on top of the giants. And I've seen this one before, but the keynote speaker said, your academic lecturers are the giants. And I thought, oh, I am the giant. You know, and what I would like to say, as well as your lecturers are the giants, but we are standing on top of the other giants. We are constantly growing and striving to be the best. And the third one, from the keynote speaker, and it seems to be the popular one, position yourself for success. You need to position yourself for success. The third years are going out there. They are going to the industry. I know some of you guys are very excited. Some of you are very nervous. And we always say that you are writing your own CV. By the time you go to the interview, they already know what's going on. So please, when it comes to the values that Mrs. Zondi have mentioned, remember every time you start a day, you are doing an interview for yourself before the formal one. Position yourself for success. It doesn't come by luck or by chance. Of course, there's a lot of prayers and hard work that comes with it, but you also need to be actively involved by positioning yourself. Just to end, I always get very overwhelmed when it comes to the last bit of the program, the thank you part. And sometimes the word thank you, it feels like it's not good enough. I wish I could say more. And I would like to thank the audience, the good audience. You guys have been brilliant. The organizer. I would like to thank Mrs. Powers for organizing the event. And she is a star. Believe me when I say she's the engine of the department. You know, when the car doesn't have an engine, it doesn't move. My academic team, MLS department, you guys rock. You rock. You know, I get very emotional when I talk about my team. They are the best. I wouldn't trade them for anything. The technical team, wow, you guys are brilliant. The fact that our friends and family that are not going to be, that they are not here with us, they can still watch. That's a big thing. And they've been here, I don't know since when I arrived an hour before the event, you guys were already rocking the place up. The photographer, how can I forget the photographer? I love photos. Photos are for memories. Years to come, you will look back and say, this was the best day. And I would also like to encourage those ones who didn't get the awards. Remember, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So the people that are holding the awards, they must watch out because the best is yet to come. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And also our guests, how can I forget? They have left work to support us and celebrate this day with us. The 2 directors, the 3 directors, we are so blessed. They were running between meetings just to be here and support us. Thank you so much. How can I forget Dr. Weekend? Wow. I'm saving the best for that. He is the best. He did a great job. Thank you so much, Puti.
It's a big one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sissy. Thank you, everyone. Bye.